How do people vlog in their car? How do they do this on like a regular basis? Because it feels hard and kind of illegal. And also like my expensive camera's about to fall. I'm on my way to go get a coffee because I just need to get out of the house. I have absolutely nowhere to go. Most of the time when I get a coffee, I don't even actually drink it. It's like an emotional support coffee and I just end up like having it and it melts, the ice melts, and then I like throw it in my fridge for tomorrow. Hi, can I get a medium cold brew with no cream or sugar? That'll do it. Thank you. Okay, tell me why I got a black coffee, because I haven't had a black coffee since college 10 years ago. So why did that come out of my mouth and why did I order it? I feel like I've been drinking so much coffee that I like cannot actually fathom putting another drop of dairy into my stomach. Like, look at my lips. I'm so dehydrated. I need... That's actually not that bad. This was my drink in college. I would get an iced long black, which in Australia is like an iced Americano. So here's where we're at. Highlights, his surgery happened. The repairs were successful. There are lasting side effects from his VSD that are not gonna be healed overnight and are gonna take time to recover. And that recovery time feels hard, but it is good because he is in recovery. It's just not the way I expected it to look. We're gonna just do a little update on Oliver just because I did one before and I kind of wanted to give you guys the good news of his surgery and how he's recovering after that. So it's Tuesday right now. He had surgery for to repair the VSD in his heart on Thursday, so five-ish days ago. I'm tired. It's okay. We got this. So we did pre-op stuff Wednesday, kind of gave us the rundown of what to expect the next day and recovery and our stay. And it was really weird Wednesday night, like packing all of our stuff up to go to the hospital, because it was unlike packing your stuff up to go to the hospital when you give birth. It was almost like you were packing to go on a vacation because we were going to be there for so long. You had to make sure all of the things that made you feel comfortable were packed and clean. So we're like doing laundry to go to the hospital. It was a lot. It was very weird. Next morning we had to be at the hospital at like 5:30 in the morning and we just kind of went right into it. They took him back. The surgery was about 5-ish hours. We got calls and texts from the nurses, or the surgeon. Somebody in the OR called basically every hour and let us know what was going on. It was weird. I wanted the updates. Like, of course I want to know every single minute, like what's going on. If I could have been in the operating room, I would have been. Also, they're weird updates because you can't do anything about it. So you're just receiving this information. Like, I screenshotted the text I got from this number that says like, patient is on bypass, period. That's a weird text to get. It felt very out of body, very surreal. Jonas and I are just sitting there, and there's not a lot of places to go in this hospital. It's a great hospital, but it's not gigantic. So we're just trying to do whatever we can to walk around. When we got the call that the surgery had gone well and they were waiting to finish it all up, I was afraid that bad news would be coming. And so I just really wanted to have a moment where I was like, I don't know if our life is fully about to change, like forever, good or bad. So we're just sitting there and I was like, would you like to go to the cafeteria with me and like get a coffee and like a cookie or something? Just want to have a moment where this is good news and we live in this good news moment. And if anything else happens, we at least had this moment together, you know? So we walked to the cafeteria and we get a cookie. I just felt like I was floating. The cashier was this woman that ended up becoming a huge part of our stay at the hospital, and I would not have known that at that point. She's like, how are you guys doing today? And she was pretty quiet, and we're like, good. And then Jonas went to go say, our son is having open heart surgery, and he got about halfway through the sentence and just like couldn't finish it, because that's a big sentence to say. And she didn't even ask one single question. She was just like, we're not going to ring anything else up. You guys just go. Like, she was so sweet. It was like her presence was just this big hug. It felt great. And about 20 minutes later, got a call that it worked great. The echo looked good. And they were going to start ending the surgery soon and finishing up. And then the surgeon would be in to speak to us. It was like a huge relief. And it felt weird because you're like, so all this is over now? I kept saying, like, I just came to terms with him not being well. I don't know how to then undo that so quickly. it just was a big like flip flop, you know, just right away. And then the surgeon came in to meet us, and he like took his mask off, and he's like, the hole was much bigger than we thought it was. And I was like, good or bad? Is it good news? Like, are we good? And he's like, we're good. He's just gonna recover now, basically. He's like, it couldn't have gone any better. I didn't think he would let me hug him because he's a surgeon, and but I was like, can I hug you? And he goes, of course. And he gives me this hug, and I will never forget that hug. I will never forget how long he hugged me and how hard he hugged me. Like, he wasn't letting go. He waited till I let go. What do you say to a person that just saved your son's life? Like, thank you so much. Bye-bye. I didn't know what to say. I just kept saying thank you, and we got a picture with him. They kind of said, we have to get him settled into his room upstairs, into the ICU. So just wait here, and then we'll let you know when you can basically go up to your room. So they took us back to the room, and it was a lot. It was a lot to see. The nurse was in there who would be with him basically for like the next several hours / half the day. She basically went through from head to toe and told me every single thing I was seeing and what it was for. There's a lot going on the street today. Okay. She was explaining to me everything that was happening, and I just kept being like, sorry, 1 second. I think I'm going to pass out. Just give me like 1 second. I'll be right back. And I would sit down, and I would like take a couple deep breaths, come back. And it was like my body just kept betraying me because I wanted to be present with this person who was explaining to me what was happening, but I couldn't because my body kept just like wanting to put me to sleep. I was like, stop. I need to know what's going on. We just kept taking breaks as needed, and she goes, you trust me, this is more common than you'd think it would be. So we walked through it, and essentially every single hour was the best and worst hour of my life. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Every hour past surgery was an hour that he was better, but also the hardest hour of my life because I was in the room and taking care of this helpless little person that didn't even know what was going on. And like the gaslighting that happens in your brain. Like, he's better, why are you sad? Also, this was open heart surgery in a 5-month-old. Like, that's a lot and bad, but good because it's fixing him. You should feel sad, but also don't feel sad because he's fixed. And there's a million nurses around that are telling you like his recovery is exceptional. Like he's so strong and resilient, and he's going to be resilient, and he's going to be great. And one day it's going to be, and you're like, okay, great. The back and forth between like, this isn't a big deal and he's going to be fine to like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. The flip flopping between those two happened within 60 seconds on like a repetitive cycle over and over and over and over again, all day, all night. It just, everything feels like an emergency, but also everyone's reassuring, but also your son is unconscious next to you. So you're just like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's just there. It was like every 5 minutes was this new thing where someone would come in and explain to me what was going on. He started to become just like more himself and better. He ended up going on like this little wagon ride and going to get an x-ray and an echo. And we were quoted to leave after 7 days, and he had been in for like 3, and they were like, we'll probably send you home tomorrow. And they just kept saying like, nope, he's great. Like, he's doing as great as we possibly could do. You know, we'll get your final tests done, like your x-ray and your echo, and just make sure everything's good before we discharge you. But other than that, like, he's the picture of health. I'm like, okay, which is good. Like, it's good. This is good. But he also just had heart surgery. Like, and so on Saturday, when they were doing all of those like discharge tests, like the x-ray and the echo and all of that, when they came into the room to do the echo, it was like everything that I experienced with that first echo when we discovered that he had VSD, the VSD in his heart, like came flooding back, and she was doing it, but she just was taking a long time to look at everything, especially in one specific spot. And I was like, something's wrong. We're like definitely not going home tomorrow. And it's hard because I just kept wrestling with like, is this my mom brain just wondering if he's okay and assuming the worst? Or is this like a gut feeling that I need to really listen to? The hole had been so large for so long. The pressures in his heart were not dropping like they assumed they would. He looked great. He literally is smiling like at everybody that walks in his room. They expected everything to look normally, but these pressures, like essentially Oliver is in like pulmonary hypertension. They've put him on a pretty wild medicine schedule where we're giving him medicine every 6 hours for the next 6 months. I didn't consider that there would be any residual effects of the VSD, which is my fault. Like, of course there would be. His heart didn't work the way it should have for 5 months. Like, there's going to be effects on his body that are going to last longer than just immediately when they close it up. It's going to take time. The doctors did rounds the next day and said, like, yeah, you're not going home today. And they kind of explained what we were going to do and the medicine schedule and how we do that and how we administer it. And I'm struggling to make sense of how he's doing. But in the grand scheme of all of it, it's good. So that's good. But then why do I feel bad and sad and like tired? But today, we're one day out of being out of the hospital. With his pajamas on, it's like he never had surgery, which is really weird because I just went through one of the most traumatic experiences of my entire life. And now I am holding him at home in his onesie pajama, zipped all the way up, and you wouldn't even know. And that is good. So why do I feel bad? There's a lot that I can't explain about this. What am I saying? Like, some of it is survivor's guilt, I think. We've just got to sort the pressures out, and the medicine he's on will do that. We're not going to have to do this medicine forever. And from what I'm being told, once all this is over, he will be a very, very normal kid. The only thing to remind him of all of this is a little scar right here. Other than that, I think he's going to be okay, which is good. But why do I feel like it's not good? Like, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. And it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of good news mixed in with comparatively very bad news that could have been worse. But I just kind of wanted to let you know our family is good. Oliver is getting better every day. And the healing is hard. Yeah. Okay. It's when I'll process it more one day, and I think I'll be able to explain it a lot more beautifully, and then we'll recap this again one day, and I'll write it down and figure it out. But I did want to just give you an update on him now because it was important to me to kind of let you guys know, and you guys love our family so well and love Oliver so much and love August so much, and I just wanted to kind of give you an update because you deserved one. So yeah, that's where we're at. One day we're going to get some good sleep and recover from me and Jonas recover from this. Right now, we are definitely still in shock. We're tired. We're happy. We're grateful. We're scared. And more things than that. What a weird update. Okay. Bye.